I'd like to call to order the Westmont Village Board meeting, regular meeting of July 10th, 2014 at 5:31 PM. Clerk Simsky, roll call, please.
Mayor Gunter?
Here.
The clerk's here. Trustee Addington?
He's here, he just stepped out.
Okay. Trustee Barker?
Here.
Trustee Barry?
Here.
Trustee Nero?
Here.
Trustee Scott?
Here.
Trustee Seneca?
Here.
Manager Searle?
He's here too.
Attorney Zemanek?
Here.
Assistant Manager May?
Here. And would everybody please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And welcome. And at this point, we'll go to open forum. And I believe, Chief, everybody that's here is here for an agenda item. If anybody does have an open forum request, there's still time. Seeing that we do not have any, then I'll move on to reports. First one is the mayor's report. And under stormwater workshop staff report, Monday night we had a workshop meeting on stormwater, and Larry McIntyre, if you can please go and give an update.
Thank you, Mayor and Board. Just going to give a quick brief update, especially for the folks who were not in attendance or did not see the meeting from this past Monday. But basically, the village had hired a consultant, AMIC Consulting Firms, to develop a stormwater utility. And we had a total of 4 stakeholder meetings with the community, and that resulted in the presentation that occurred on Monday. And they developed all the specifics regarding the stormwater utility, and the information is it's kind of intense. There's a lot to it, and so the presentation lasted about 45 minutes. And so staff has been asked to develop a video that will sort of streamline the information for public consumption. So we're going to create a video. We plan to have that done by the end of next week, and that'll play back on local YouTube and our Channel 6. And so folks can look forward to getting that information, and then that'll hopefully inform residents about next steps regarding the stormwater utility.
Okay, and don't leave the podium, because I'm going to have you say one more thing after I finish up on this.
Sure.
As far as the stormwater on the next agenda, which is 2 weeks from tonight, we will have that as an agenda item. And at that point, the board will make a decision if they, one, is if they want to go to referendum, and 2, when to hold that referendum, either in November or April. So for those in the public, we'll have that as an agenda item to be discussed 2 weeks from tonight.
Absolutely, and if anyone, residents or business owners, have any questions about the stormwater utility, they should definitely reach out to the village. They can contact myself, and emails can be sent to communications@westmont.il.gov, or reach me on my cell phone, which is 630-981-6245.
Well, the other thing, under my report, I will mention that there is a big event starting tonight, which is the Taste of Westmont.
Right.
And could you give an update
Absolutely.
to everybody?
I have a image here on the overhead projector. This is basically our main schedule, but Taste of Westmont is one of our great community festivals that we have. And as the mayor said, tonight is opening night, Kidsapalooza. So this is mostly about the carnival, and it starts 5:30 to 9:30. And there's a wristband special for carnival all night long. We have a battle of the bands and music, and a DJ later in the evening. And then starting tomorrow night, the event opens full scale, and that starts at 4 p.m. And our music acts tomorrow, 6:30, Slippery When Wet, which is a Bon Jovi tribute band. And then at 8 p.m. we have country line dancing, because at 8:30 we have Hillbilly Rock Stars performing. Hillbilly Rock Stars did perform last year, and they did so well that by popular demand they were invited back. So a little bit of country on a Friday night. And then on Saturday, 4:30 p.m., we have the Cadillac Casanovas. 6:30, the Flat Cats, which is a local favorite because John Costel from Uncle John's Music is one of the leaders of that band, and they've been doing quite well, and so we're happy to have them on our main stage. And at 8:30, we have American English, which is widely regarded as the best Beatles tribute band in the world. So awesome night on Saturday, but then continues on Sunday. We have our blues jam from noon to 4, and at 6 p.m. we have the Ides of March. And the Ides of March is also a local favorite because back in the day, I think a lot of those guys are from the area, Berwyn and Clarendon Hills and different places, and they used to play here in Westmont at a place called the Blue Village. And so we're expecting a huge night on Sunday. So anyway, all weekend, come on out, free admission. And of course, it's called the Taste of Westmont because we highlight our local restaurants. And we have a total of 14 food vendors and lots of great selections of food. So come on down and enjoy the weekend.
That's great.
And Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, I will have coffee with the mayor at Sweet and Savory.
Right?
And then from there, they can go right into the fest.
Absolutely. And the Coffee with the Mayor event, once again, just to reiterate, we invite the entire community to come out and basically just share their thoughts about Westmont. We want to hear everything that anyone has to say. So if you have questions, suggestions, ideas, concerns, that's why we have these events. It's all about communication and fostering good relationships with our residents. So definitely come on out to the Coffee with the Mayor Saturday, 10 o'clock in the morning, and that's at Sweet and Savory, downtown Westmont.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
No? Great.
And the last item I have, of course, is to thank all those who participated in the July 4th activities. It is definitely a community event run by the Village and the Park District. I would guesstimate we probably had 12 to 14,000 people in and around the park. Extremely successful, great fireworks. It definitely is a family-oriented event. So again, I want to thank all those that helped and volunteered, and I think we saw a lot of people were there this past Friday. And that's all I have. Clerk Simsky.
I just want to remind everybody that last night was the first night for concerts in the park. And they will be taking place on Wednesday, July 16th and 23rd at Ty Warner Park, 7 to 8:30. And on Wednesday, July 30th, August 6th, and the 13th, they will be at the Veterans Memorial Park. So go out and enjoy it. It's a lovely evening to sit out and listen to nice music in our beautiful parks.
Thank you.
That's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you. Attorney Zemanek.
Nothing to report tonight. Thank you.
Manager Searle.
Thank you. I just want to mention that the board had asked us to talk with the Planning and Zoning Commission about setting up a joint meeting since we now have the newly adopted comprehensive plan, and to go through the plan, the sub-area plans, and to talk a bit about the philosophy of future development here in the community. We polled the commission members as well as the board members, and it looks like the best date for that joint meeting will be Wednesday, July 23rd. We will start at 7 p.m. Here in the Village Hall. And so we'll be developing an agenda for that and getting that out
It's the
to.
night before our next meeting.
Yes. That's all I have.
Good. Thank you.
At 7, did you say?
7 o'clock.
Okay, thanks.
Trustees, Trustee Barry.
I would like to thank Bob Vath and the Street Department. They've been working all the time here in the alleys. They've been cleaning up. They've actually run the street sweepers. In all my years of being there, I don't know that we've ever swept the alleys, but they really look good. And I think it was summer help, and with the direction of Bob Vath, I saw him in the alley a couple times. But thank you to them. They really spruced up the town, and excited for this weekend. Thank you.
Trustee Addington.
Couple things. First one, of course, great 4th of July, great fireworks. Park District folks really outdid themselves. Thank the Chamber for the support and the folks from the Auto Mile. It was a very nice fireworks show, and you're right, I was hearing nothing but parking was everywhere, including all up and down through Oakwood and everything else. So that was very nice. I will also reiterate, don't forget to come over to the Lions Club corn booth, because it's a unique corn booth. Nowhere else in the western suburbs can you get corn cooked by our mayor.
Yeah.
That's right.
No one else offers that.
And 2 trustees.
And 2
And a
trustees.
clerk. That's right. So it's a unique corn booth. I don't know if the corn tastes better, but I think it does.
It does.
It does. But we'll be there, and please come out and enjoy the taste. It's a great event. And the third thing I have is a little bit more of a negative. We had an incident on our sidewalks downtown where one of our business people was sideswiped by a lady on a bicycle riding on the sidewalk. So, and I went over there and looked, and we used to have those stencil signs, and they're kind of fading. So I'm wondering if somewhere down the road, we shouldn't get those
Yeah, after you and I spoke, I talked with Director May about it, and as you know, because you've been around on the board before, this has been an ongoing issue.
Yeah.
And we did have stencils at one time. Director May thought that we had gone to signage, but we were going to look at putting stencils back down. I don't know if you have any more information.
No, I want to coordinate that with the chief because we specifically moved towards mounting signs as opposed to it's very maintenance intensive to maintain it painted on the sidewalk itself.
There is absolutely no violations ever written for bicycle sidewalk. I mean, that is just one of those things that is
If we
not
see it,
enforced.
they ask them, don't do it, but, and we have not had I don't think we've had a whole bunch of issues, but this particular case, this business owner was actually carrying something out of her car and turned, and either the bike rider or the business owner realized that they were on a collision course, and unfortunately, she got knocked down and not seriously hurt, but it still shouldn't happen. And I know we do an ordinance that say skateboards, roller skating and bicycling not on the streets downtown. So we need to at least address that. I brought it up tonight. I had already talked with several people about it, but for the residents in town, your kids, please remind them, not in our business downtown area on the sidewalk. It's just not safe. We have more people and more kids there.
She said there was also an incident with someone coming out of one of the restaurants. Not the same day, but there's
Yeah.
been multiple.
There's been more than
Okay.
one.
The
similar
only
comment.
thing I would say about that, and people shouldn't be riding bikes on a sidewalk in a downtown, but I would rather encourage them to walk their bike on the sidewalk and not drive on Cass Avenue.
Well,
I
yeah.
mean, that just goes from bad to worse. I don't know how you do that or if you can do that.
I think just the awareness to walk the bike.
yeah.
There are going to be
Walk
some
the
kids
bike
that
and-
want to go to one of the shops on Cass Avenue and ride their bikes, so if they just learn to walk it while they're
Yeah.
there.
Well, this was in the first block before the train tracks north, and of course, the other question is that close to the pharmacy, how many senior citizens are coming in and out, and may not see somebody going on a bicycle down that way either. So just for the citizens and the residents, be aware, protect folks that are walking, and for the walkers, be aware, watch what's going on, and let's try to keep our sidewalks safe, that's all. And that's it I have, sir.
Thank you. Trustee Scott.
Just want to add how good the 4th was, and thanks to the police department for getting everybody out of there quick.
Yeah, they did.
Just
I don't know how they
amazing
do
how
that.
fast
It's like magic.
everybody leaves. They've got it down pat. So, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Nero.
Sure, just a couple things. I just wanted to let the board know and everybody else that the pond project is near completion. So if you have time, go drive by, check it out. The plants are growing real well. Just wanted to, special thanks to Bob Fleck for kind of taking care of it for us and making sure everything got done, and Steve and Public Works, everybody's really been helping out. So that's went really well. Another thing is on Tuesday, I attended a little ribbon cutting for DuPage County at the Green Valley in Woodridge, a water treatment plant. They did a ribbon cutting for a new Vector station. And I just kind of went because I was interested in it. It's a pretty neat, it's the first building, first setup of its kind in the state. It's an environmentally friendly way to dispose of some waste. And it's really cool to see. It's going to help reduce operational costs. It's a regional operation, so even though we don't technically use that facility, the facilities that Westmont uses can take part of that service. So I wanted to let the village know that the county is doing things like that, which is pretty neat. Last thing too, 4th of July fireworks are always awesome. They really are the best in the area, so thanks for everybody that helped put that through. And lastly, I just wanted to let the whole board know and everybody else, I know I missed the last 2 meetings. It's against my better judgment, but I learned this past couple weeks that these wedding planning things that I'm going through although I tried not to go to them, everybody here saw the outcome of kind of learning that I have to be at those things. So for the most part, they're over with, so you're stuck with me now from here on out. That's all I have, Mayor. Thanks.
Thank you. Trustee Parker.
What he doesn't realize is that's the beginning.
Wait till you're married.
Thanks, Bruce.
You're welcome. I just wanted to thank Alice at the Park District. I attended the concert last night. There were 200 to 300 people up there, and what a beautiful setting and what a nice night. So those free concerts in the park are being utilized, but if you want to go somewhere, have a nice break in the middle of your week, it was wonderful.
Oh, thank you. Trustee Seneca.
Thank you. I too just want to echo everyone's comments on the 4th of July. Incredible, fabulous. Thank you to everyone that worked so hard. But really, the big thanks, the special thanks to the Westmont Auto Mile, because without them, who knows if that would even be possible. So thank you to them. Get out, Kids-a-Palooza tonight. There also is a car show tonight. It's in the bank parking lot. So take a look at the cars. Go down to our restaurants. Sweet and Savory's open, Vincentori, they're all open. So Knights of Columbus won't be open this evening, but all of the other places are. So go down to our downtown and frequent it. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Are the Knights doing their root beer floats the Thursday?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, that's a shame.
No, they're going to be closed all weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lemon
No root
shake.
beer floats, okay.
The first of the month, we have committee reports, and that way we can give an update. The committee chairs can give an update of either what's going on or when the next meeting is. And the first one is administration and finance.
Well, we just met a couple of weeks ago, and again, our agenda always seems to fill up. A lot of things that we're working on, being sure that we've got the insurance at a cost factor that keeps the cost down and still protects our employees. We're working, still working, and I think I just saw an email that went out. Just remind everybody, if an employee, and, well, no, you thanked a village person. If anybody sees a village person who's done an extra special job, we now have a way of commending that person, and any person, whether it's somebody from the village board or some citizen, can nominate that person for Employee of the Month for extra special good public relations and good service. So don't forget that, and you should turn one in.
They've already
Because of
received-
that.
They won one for the snow plowing already, though, those
Yeah,
guys.
all right, yeah. But we keep going forward. We're working on updating and seeing where we're at with the budget on a periodic basis, and everything's doing fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Building and zoning.
We just met this evening, and we had a full agenda, a lot of it geared around adapting new building codes and cleaning up existing ordinances. Hopefully, they would do one and the same. And then we talked about improving awareness when we see commercial developments coming and making them, making the public more aware of what's happening and what's coming in the future. And hopefully more people will strive to be involved then. If you want, Mayor, I'll also take environmental. I
Yes.
think that I would just say that they are working. Larry did not give me an update on what they're working on, but I know that they're always working to improve the environment here. So, thank you.
Public safety.
Public safety. Next meeting will be July 24th here in Village Hall at 4 o'clock, I believe. It's going to be a long agenda. Some of the things we'll be talking about. 3 o'clock? Oh, 3 o'clock. So
It's a
leave
real
work
long
early.
agenda.
3 o'clock, and we'll be talking about parking in various parts of town. We're having some issues, so that's going to be on the agenda. Normal public safety types of things. I don't know if the chief wants to add anything, or the fire chief. I encourage residents to come to these meetings because this is your town and these are your public servants. So it's open to the public.
Yes, the reason for the early start, because we do have a heavy agenda on the police side. We're going to be talking about the parking near Napleton Porsche on Rosewood Court and Wilmette Avenue. There's also a parking review for 61st Street between Cass and Van Industrial Drive. And then an issue which was just placed on the agenda today is involving school crossing guards and our relationship with the schools to see with Andy Frayne and the schools and the village, see if we can work something out.
Cool.
And then on the fire side, Chief Weiss,
Do
anything?
you have anything you want to add?
Just the normal stuff. No smoke, no fires, no hose?
No smoke, no fire.
Okay,
That's good.
all right.
Thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Public Works.
The only thing I have is we have an upcoming meeting August 7th, and I will give an update on that outcome next month.
Thank you. Public information.
Well, I gave everything I had tonight about our concerts and such, so, and our next meeting will be in August also, so
Okay.
I can update you then.
Get out there.
Code enforcement.
I'd like to let the residents know that they can report any code concerns that they may have through the village website, and if they don't want to attach their name to it, they're able to do that anonymously. Submit any concerns that they have, and I want to say that the code enforcement folks are out looking at things and doing a good job. Thank you.
And you want to
Yeah.
talk about Westmont first?
Westmont First. Westmont First is going to hope to have a strong presence this weekend at the Taste of Westmont. And our next meeting is Wednesday, July 16th. I'm in the executive session room here, and they're seriously taking a good look at an adopt a hydrant program and working with the water department and the fire department. Kind of a lot of enthusiasm for that.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item 6, items we
Mr. Mayor,
removed.
could I give a report?
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed it. It's not. Wow,
That's okay.
Yeah, they just ignored
That's right, that's all right.
How come you're not on here? I don't get it.
You know, the center chair just ignores you. I think it's.
That's all right. You know what? Economic Development Committee.
The sign of a good chairman is knowing how to delegate. Larry, would you like to give up?
Yeah, there you
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mayor and Village Board members. We'd like to take a few moments just to talk about some of the new businesses that have opened up in Westmont over the last few months. It's very important as a community that we go out and support those businesses. That's what makes our business community viable and strong. They are Blue Beaker at 140 North Cass Avenue, just an excellent shop just opened a couple weeks ago. Citrus Diner at 840 East Ogden Avenue. Now, that's the original owner of Moon Dance. That's reopened under a new name, and the traffic has been absolutely wonderful. Fabian's Paul Station at 218 North Cass. Karen Butterfield has decided to stay in town. She's moved over to 200 East Chicago Avenue, as well as the Office of Law Office of Teresa Johnson. She's added a second location at 128 South Cass. Oakwood Electric and Generator has opened a new location downtown. They moved from North Cass Avenue. They are now located over at 237 North Cass. Rising Goddess Fitness Center, we're going to be having a ribbon cutting for them in the next couple of weeks. They're over at 208 East Chicago Avenue. Standard Markets opened a new food venue called Smoke, SMK. It's an outdoor 3-season venue, and it's absolutely delicious. Unique Sausage over at 214 East Chicago. We also want to get a shout out to the businesses that have been open a year now in town. It's Chase Bank at 6320 South Cass, Jawa Orthodontics at 519 North Cass, Elite Sports Medicine Institute at 760 Pasquinelli, Neat Kitchen and Bar celebrating a 1-year anniversary. They're located at 246 North Cass. We have Sylvan Learning Center over at 810 East Ogden, St. James Crossing there. We have TheraCore at 350 East Ogden Avenue. We have the Sweet and Savory Spot at 31 North Cass Avenue celebrating a 1-year anniversary. Hugh Mandarins, and we also have Urban Legends celebrating a 1-year anniversary. Again, we don't want to forget about those businesses. They're celebrating their 1st-year anniversary in town, and that's quite a milestone for a new business, and we want to support them fully. We also wanted to mention a couple quick things. We get a lot of questions about projects that are underway, so let's talk about Mariano's. At this point, all things are going according to plan, and they plan on breaking ground in the spring of 2015. The Hardee's, which is a former Arby's property, is planning opening later this year. We have a Darrell Gruder's Interior Design, which is going to be opening at 143 South Cass Avenue. They'll be opening in July. Great Lakes Auto Sports Restoration at 6111 Van Industrial. They'll be opening this fall, some really cool cars that they'll be offering for sale there. China Furniture over at 25 South Cass will be opening an expanded showroom at their facility there. We have K&H Renovations, which is currently on North Cass, is going to be opening in Herb Kaplan's former building at 25 South Cass, and they plan on opening later this fall. We also have Connie's Pizza and Potbelly. That's a really common question, what happened to Connie's? They'll be tearing down that building this summer. They've got their permits pulled, and hopefully they'll be able to make it before the end of the year and have their new facility open. Matter of fact, Potbelly Sandwich was at Planning and Zoning last night and got approval for their signage. We have a Westmont Dental Salon that will be opening at 222 North Cass, and Gaben Auto Group, and there was just an article about Gaben Auto Group in today's Chicago Tribune in Triple Oakville. They'll be opening in the old Chevy property in August or September this year. So we've got some really cool projects coming down the line. There's another 30 or 40 individuals and businesses and developers that we're talking to. So there's a lot of great positive activity going on in Westmont. And that's our report, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Very good, thank you very much.
Trustee Scott, I saved the best for last.
I know you did, thank you, thank you.
It's a good report. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great.
Nice save.
Nice save.
All right, agenda item 6, items we removed from the consent agenda. Are there any board members that were requesting that any of the items be removed from the consent agenda?
If we have a question on it, does it have to be removed and then we discuss it? Is that?
If you want it, yeah, if you have a question.
Then I do want one removed. Okay. It'd be PO 11033932 for Curry Motors.
Second one?
The second one?
Second one.
Yes, part 2. Yes, I'm sorry. 2.
Got it.
I'm asking legal advice if we need a motion to remove it from the
Yeah,
consent
we
agenda.
typically have done a
Okay.
second, and the consensus was if one trustee requested it, then
That comes off.
Yes.
I'll second.
Trustee Berry made the motion, and Trustee Addington seconded to remove that item from the consent agenda. Any questions? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Berry.
Yes.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Very good. Seeing no other items to be removed, Manager Searle, could you please read?
Okay, the consent agenda is composed of the following items. Board to consider approving the minutes of the village board meeting held June 26, 2014. The second item is the May financial report that Trustee Addington alluded to a few moments ago, that's reviewed monthly, or not monthly, but periodically by the Administration and Finance Committee. It is reviewed at least monthly by department heads, and that information is in the packet for board and the public. The third item is the finance ordinance number 6. Total amount is $1,990,376.16. And then the following purchase orders. Purchase order 11033968 to Chicagoland Paving Contractors in the amount of $191,243.40. This is for the water plant parking lot project, and was budgeted. Then we have purchase order 11033946 to Public Safety Direct, $31,300. This is for the installation of lights, sirens, radio switches, computers, and the various equipment that we have to have on our police interceptor vehicles. Then we have purchase order 11033955 to the DuPage Convention and Visitors Bureau in the amount of $24,697.30. This is our annual dues for 2015. And then we have purchase order 11033961 to the Westmont Chamber of Commerce in the amount of $16,376, and this is part of the program that the board approved in the budget for the Economic Development Partnership. And then we have purchase order 11033969 to Don Morris Architects in the amount of $12,331.78. and this is for June inspections and building reviews. Next, we have purchase order 11033941 to Chicago Jack Services in the amount of $7,057.07. This is for a power circuit, Stanley HP 28 power circuit, and this was a budgeted item. And then we have two more purchase orders. Purchase order 11033953 to Terrace Supply Company for $6,680.50. This is for a fleet welder replacement. The current welder is over 30 years old, and again, this was a budgeted item that was discussed during the budgeting process. And then we have finally, the last purchase order is 11033951 to A.M. Leonard in the amount of $6,247.91. And this is for tree watering bags for replacement trees. The total amount of the purchase orders and the finance ordinance under the consent agenda, actually, I don't have the number minus the one removed purchase order.
Steve's got it.
Steve's got it. That amount is,
Total purchase orders is $295,933.96. And then the total of purchase orders and the finance ordinance would be $1,395,309.12.
Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as read?
So moved, Addington.
and amended.
Well, and
amended.
amended, yes.
Second, Scott.
Made and second on the question. Anybody from the public? Any trustees? If not, roll call, please.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Sinica.
Yes.
Now, can I, the item that was removed from the consent agenda, the one for $40,809, do I have a motion to approve?
So move, Scott.
Second, Addington.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve on the question.
I was just looking really for the additional background. It seemed like the rest of these, we have how old they are and what it is. This one just says replacement for unit. So is there a background on it, Steve, that you're aware of?
Yeah, in the full packet, the attachments on there, it is replacing a 2000 Ford F-550, and it's Unit 201, which is the utility vehicle that holds all the, it's essentially the vehicle that goes out on all water main breaks, so it has all the utility on it. Now, this is just for the chassis for the vehicle. It is not the box or any of the other equipment that goes with it. But it is a budgeted item, and it's a replacement of a 15-year-old vehicle.
So then are we transferring that box over, or are we getting a new box?
No,
or-
they'll be getting new ones.
You're getting a new one, and
Separate
that one
budget.
will be coming on for that in the future?
Yeah, we don't know which vendor yet. They're shopping two different companies for the best fit.
Okay, that was my question.
That's
Thank
a
you.
good question. Thank you. Any other questions, your audience? Anybody from the board? Trustee Addington?
The only other question that I have is, and this really has nothing with all the equipment, this is a diesel. Most of your other vehicles are diesels?
Yes, it is a diesel, and most of them are, even our larger pickup trucks, we run diesel too. And in
Running
fact, these
diesel.
are biodiesel compatible, so it also meets our climate action plan as far as replacing with vehicles that either have better fuel economy or cleaner burning fuel.
And better, yeah, better for the environment.
And I'm to understand from that purchase order that that vehicle has 6,900 miles on it?
The
one being
we're buying or
replaced?
The one we're replacing.
Just looking here, the replacing, it says water number 201, year 2000, make Ford, model F-150, miles 6,971.
I mean, that's possible, because all it does is drive a few blocks to a water main break, and that's what it's used for. It's more of a utility, with the hydraulic and the power takeoffs and everything like that, too. I would believe that.
So then a vehicle that, I guess
It's
something.
not about
that-
mileage, it's
You
about
know,
how
a
long it
vehicle that
runs.
doesn't get that much mileage, and we're only getting, I mean, I guess why does it need to be replaced, I guess is the question.
But the engine's running and the equipment's.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
it's.
hours aren't listed on there, and this was, like I said, it's 15 years old. It was longer than we were specifying the vehicles to have hour clocks on them.
I remember we talked about this during budget with this, in fact, you brought it up during budget. I remember.
That we need to have hours on, that we should know the hours, because the public's not gonna like us getting rid of vehicles with less than 7,000 miles on them, I mean, that's just,
Part of what we do and what you try to do with the vehicle replacement program is you come up with a schedule of life for a vehicle, and part of it's a guess. Because you're guessing at some point, your costs for the maintenance of that vehicle is gonna go up. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. And, we created that structured program a number of years ago because we had let a lot of our vehicles get kind of long in the tooth, and we were having high maintenance costs. Are we always right? Could something last longer, and could we get more use out of it? Probably. But it's a structured program, and we put money in that program each year for those kind of replacements.
Well, this is.
I'm aware of the
Yeah,
program.
yeah.
Well aware of the program.
Well, I know that, but I mean, that's the philosophy behind it.
I understand.
And I'm just explaining that for the public, I guess. I understand, you know that.
And this is one of those cases when miles on the vehicle is probably not as important as the usage of the equipment. But the hours would have been helpful.
Is that kind of similar to fire trucks, too?
I would imagine the more critical factor on a fire truck is the
Life safety.
amount that it runs.
No, I understand that, but
Chief, running 100% of the time, it's away from the building.
Yeah, it's
Chief Weiss shook his head yes.
okay.
All right, so, any additional questions on
06
this
truck was the exception to the.
purchase order?
70 million.
Seeing no additional questions, roll call, please.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
No.
Motion passed. Unfinished business, agenda item 8, Westmont Center. Board to consider an ordinance approving a lease for the current term for State Senator Kurt Dillard. Manager Searle.
Okay, this is unfinished business from the last agenda. The Legislative District Office lease is dated from June 1st, 2014 until the adjournment of the General Assembly on January 14th, 2015. And the Senator had asked us to amend this lease. We were not able to get on the last agenda, so it's on this agenda for consideration.
I think we discussed this, do I have a motion?
Motion to approve, Barry.
Second, Nero.
Motion made and seconded on the question. And the only uncertainty is how long is State Senator Dillard going to remain in the office, since the rumor has it he's going to resign to take a
Chairmanship of the RTA.
RTA. So
We don't know the answer to that.
we don't know the answer, but this at least will be passed. Or
If he does, someone will get appointed and probably would just fill that office. for
What
the-
this will do is ensure that we continue to get money from the state while he's still there
Right.
for the
Or
county
replacement.
area maintenance costs, so.
any additional questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Thank you. Unfinished business B, 1006 Beneford Lane Detention Basin Purchase. Board to consider an ordinance approving a real estate sales contract and authorizing the purchase of the detention basin lot located at 1006 Beneford Lane in Westmont. Manager Searle.
Okay, this goes back a couple of years. In 2012, the village board spoke with the owner of 1006 Beneford Lane, and we agreed to purchase the detention basin as part of Falcon Villa subdivision at a price of $1. The plat subdivision was approved to carve out the basin from the residential property. Prior to that, he owned it. He was responsible for the maintenance of it. That's the way the subdivision was approved. Prior to discussions with the owner in 2012, the village was assisting with the maintenance of the detention basin on an as-needed basis. The village took over maintenance in 2012. Village ownership of this property will assist in the maintenance of the village's overall stormwater system based on the direction of the board back in 2012. Staff recommends approval of this. Should be noted that there are real estate taxes, title insurance, and closing costs that should not exceed $8,000. This money, while it's not budgeted, the funds are available through our stormwater improvements. And anybody who's looked in that area and this whole stormwater issue in that area, that does need regular attention. And in retrospect, it probably shouldn't have been platted the way it was, and that's why the board back in 2012 felt like it was important for us to take that over and try to incorporate it into our overall stormwater maintenance system.
I have a motion to approve the ordinance.
So moved, Addington.
Second, Barker.
Motion been made and seconded. Any questions from the audience or the board? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Agenda item 9, new business, 25 North Cass Avenue, downtown development grant request. Board to consider an ordinance approving a downtown development grant request from the Knights of Columbus in the amount of $1,938. Manager Searle.
Applicant is requesting assistance in, as was stated, in the amount of $3,876 to cost the install of a new fire alarm system. The work is considered a life safety improvement, eligible for a matching grant up to 50%. In 2013, the village board increased available funding for fire alarms when 7 applications were received after the 2013 budget was depleted. This application was received after the second funding amount was depleted and processed for the 2014 budget cycle. The fire alarm has been installed and approved by the fire department, and we don't have the applicant here, but we have staff.
We do.
We do.
We do. We do.
It's the night's closed, he's here.
So,
Come on up and
any questions? We have the
I think Rick can come up, and Jill, if you want to give any.
Sure, I'll just give a brief introduction. This is a standard request, our first life safety grant for 2014. As mentioned, the funds were exhausted last year, so staff recommended the applicant come back to see if funding would be approved for 2014, which it was, and staff recommends approval.
That's it.
He's there.
Rick, do you want to tell us what the Knights of Columbus does downtown and let everyone know what you guys have going on there? And
Fish fry.
Non-for-profit organization. Most of you may not know, the building we celebrated our 40th year. The building was purchased by the Knights on June 14th of 1974. So we've been there a long time, open to the public for functions when the village is involved, as well as rentals. That's pretty much it. Thank you. Other questions for me? Thank you.
And the Knights has been very active in all of our community activities, parades, ceremonies, and they are very much involved in the cruising nights every Thursday night. Do I have a motion to approve?
So move, Seneca.
Second, Addington.
Motion been made and second to approve as presented for the $1,938 on the question.
I just, I think we talked about this before, but now that we've replenished, with the new budget, and we have $15,000 for life safety and $15,000 for facade improvements, perhaps the life safety, maybe that could just be part of the consent agenda? As long as the money is there? I mean, is there really any reason why they would have to appear?
The board's direction, we'd be happy to do that. You can always call it out of the
Would you rather
consent agenda.
them appear so we can ask questions?
And did something change with, didn't there used to be a maximum of 1,500, or did we change that when?
No, it was always 50%. When we started running out of money, we did that.
Then we maxed it out.
I see that.
Right. But that's up to the board. If you'd like us to handle it
Just
that
a
way.
thought. I mean, we don't
do that.
have to make that decision now, but.
Well, I would hope that
just-
by this point, most of them are done, right? Like the
Well,
life safety.
People continue to improve their property, though, so.
That's true.
You're going to continue to get facade grant requests, and
Yeah.
do you want to
Just a
discuss
thought.
each of those, or do you want
The
to?
facade,
Well, I think the facade,
maybe-
we like to show the public, and they see a
Right.
picture, but, this is kind of a behind-the-scenes thing. They've worked with staff,
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I am too.
just a thought.
Streamline it.
Consent? Yeah, I guess, well, in the future, we'll
Life
put it in
safety.
consent agenda.
Safety only.
Yeah.
Just for life safety.
Just life safety,
Yeah.
yes. The other question for either Jill or Ron is that we were considering moving this responsibility
Yes.
in,
Yeah, historically, we had a committee that grew out of the old Main Street program and the design guidelines, and it started with the facade grant program. And that committee, we've had some challenges over the last couple of years to get a quorum for that committee. So in talking with the chairman of our Economic Development Committee and the mayor, we decided maybe the appropriate thing to do would be to try to bring those requests, because we meet monthly anyway on a regular basis, and we always have a quorum, pretty much.
Sure.
We do.
Yeah.
I mean, not always
We have a
have
large
items to
group.
talk about, but there's always.
That we would take those requests and put those on the agenda for that particular group.
Perfect.
We've talked a little bit about maybe, and I guess we need to talk this through a little bit further, but maybe trying to get someone involved in the committee who has a little more design experience to help us with that piece of it. But again, you know, we've got a great cross-section of business owners and staff people on the committee already. We just felt it would be a more efficient way to handle these kind of requests.
One more thing for Larry to report on.
That's right.
There
I
you
think
go.
it would be beneficial because the way it's set up now, there's just three people, and it's very difficult sometimes to get them to meet. So I recommended it goes to the EDC. And then along with that is just maybe a review of some of the criteria as far as defining what life safety is and defining the grant program and make it public again, so. All
I
right.
guess just something that popped into my head, and I probably should ask the village attorney, I don't know if we need to modify any ordinance, or is this really just, I can't remember if that original facade grant was approved by ordinance, the committee?
I don't believe so. I don't think we have an ordinance that specifies the procedure, but probably worth taking a look at between now and next meeting.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions?
That's it.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Look at that, Rick, you got it without even answering a question.
Thanks, Rick.
Thanks, Rick.
Thanks, Rick.
New Business B, 29 North Cass Avenue, Expression Dance Studio. Board to consider ordinances approving the following requests from Expression Dance Studio to allow the operation of a dance studio on the ground floor in the B1 Limited Business District. 1, special use permit. 2, zoning code variance to reduce the number of required off-street parking stalls and approving a waiver from the cash in lieu payment for B1 parking spaces. And 3, development permit. Manager Searle.
Applicant requests to operate a 3-classroom dance studio 7 days a week. Private lot does not meet parking requirements. The applicant is requesting a parking variance and a waiver from the B1 cash in lieu parking fee payment. Staff has concerns about noise and parking, particularly at peak times, which were raised at the public hearing with the Planning and Zoning Commission. This building is located in the downtown TIF district but is not proposed for redevelopment. The comprehensive plan recommends specialty retail, pedestrian-intensive services, and restaurants. The Planning and Zoning Commission unanimously recommended approval, and we have the petitioner here.
We have, and just for matter of information, we have the petitioner, we have staff, and we will open this up for anybody in the public, again, that has questions. You'll get an opportunity to present to the board. So again, our petitioner's here. The floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amber Alonzo. I'm the owner of Expression Dance Studio. We've been in business since 2009 here in Westmont. When we opened our doors, we had 50 students. I'm proud to say we now have 400 students and over 350 families. Students come as far as Schaumburg, Hinsdale, Clarendon Hills, Downers Grove, St. Charles, Palos Hills, from all over the surrounding towns, as well as Westmont itself, to come to our studio and take class. We offer classes in the styles of ballet, tap, jazz, hip-hop, lyrical, contemporary, starting at ages 18 months, and our oldest student was 76 years old. So we have something for everyone within the village. For the past 5 years, with our growth, we have, our facility now is 1,000 square feet, so we've pretty much outgrown our space. We've had to rent from the Park District of Westmont to get additional space as well. And what we're looking to do now is not only improve our space for our students, but also improve our retail sales for our dance apparel that we offer. Right now, our apparel shop is about 16 feet by 5 feet, just because of the space that we have. With this new facility, we'll be able to make it a 20 by 20 space, opening up to quite additional new sales, as well as with the new space and the new studio, offering new dress codes within our students so that they would be required to purchase dance apparel through our store. So hopefully it would really increase our retail. Projection for the first year would be by 50%, and then just keep growing from there. So we're really looking forward to moving to the new space. We spoke with a lot of our neighbors, and we're excited to do cross promotions, all kinds of different business working together. So hopefully everything will work out.
Jill, do you have anything to add from?
Larry Forsberg and I have worked with Amber for the past couple months when she first applied, because we did have some concerns about sound and noise traveling, especially to the adjacent tenant, Sweet and Savory. We are also concerned about parking, and then just the fact that it's not, retail in the B1, which is recommended by the comprehensive plan. As Amber's mentioned, she is trying to increase her retail sales, and she showed a parking plan and a noise resolution plan to the Planning and Zoning Commission, and I'd recommend that she elaborate on that with all of you too.
Absolutely. The one thing I would like to start off, I know that we're not a retail business, but we are specifically said an intensively high pedestrian business, where we have in a weekly, just in a week, 400 family members, dancers that come within and out our business. So I think by moving into downtown Westmont, we'd be able to help the local businesses. When we moved on to Quincy, we helped a lot of the local restaurants, and our families come eat downtown, they celebrate downtown, they love downtown Westmont. Families that have never been to Westmont now shop here and eat here, so I think that would be beneficial as well. As for the sound, we went over an extensive soundproofing, how we can soundproof all of our drywalling between our 3 studios that we plan to have within the space. Soundproofing is not only important for us and our neighbors, but just within our own business. If we don't extensively soundproof between the 3 studios, we won't be able to operate our business in itself, because one classroom going on with another classroom going on would be very difficult with the sound. So we went over an extensive drywalling procedure. It's decouping and all kinds of big building words that my builder would be able to really put forth. I went to our neighbors to explain to that as well from the Sweet and Savory shop, how we will have, our walls will not connect where the music is. So there's our walls, our studios, a 5-foot hallway, and then our connecting walls, and then their business. So it really will decrease any sound issues. We met and discussed, working on volume or working together any way we can to hopefully make the sound not an issue, certainly on our end, that we would not want to infringe on any of the local businesses as well. And as for the parking, as I stated before, we started with 50 students, and now we have 400 in our 1,000-foot facility where we barely have any parking right now. We have, since day one, implemented a parking system where we do drop-off, so the parents literally pull up, the students drop off, they come in, they leave. They can go eat at the local businesses, at the restaurants. They have an hour to kill their time in the area, but it's never a mass amount of people all at the same time. It works almost like a machine now, where they just come, they drop off, or they come and they pick up. And to prevent everyone being there at the same time, we're going to alternate our classes, so every class won't start at the same time or end at the same time. So this way, 36 dancers won't have to be picked up at the same exact time, preventing any of the parking issues as well. And the parking in downtown Westmont, we would promote both public lots on the end of both blocks, the Irving public parking lot, as well as the public parking lot on the Burlington train track side as well.
Thank you. Anything else to add, Jill? At this time, I'd like to open it up to the public. Is there anybody who'd like to? All I ask you to do is come on up and state your name and address, and
My name is Corinne Jones. Hi. I live at 26 North Park Street in Westmont. We've lived here for 15 years, our family, and we actually tore our house down and built a new house on the lot about 7 years ago because we wanted to stay in Westmont. Love the town. I have nothing against a dance studio whatsoever. I think my only concerns as a resident is we have put a lot of time and money and effort into this comprehensive plan, and I miss Divine still to this day, and I would be sad to see a non-retail, non-restaurant business, something going into that great location in the first block of Westmont. That, number one, makes me sad that it would just be a dance studio, which is fine, nothing against dance. But my big concern is mostly just the dropping off and the picking up. You all drive down Cass Avenue, it's a mess. There's another dance studio further down Cass, and I know you're saying it's a drop off, but let me tell you how backed up it gets, because parents stop, they let their kid out, and then they, and they're stopped and they're talking for a few minutes, and then the kid runs, and what if they're coming this way and they have to cross that crosswalk, which is there for this purpose, but it's hard enough, 4, 5, 6 o'clock to cross the tracks. Anyway, now you're in the first block, and then when you're picking up, parents pull in, they park, because they get there maybe 5, 10 minutes before the class ends, and then the kids come out one at a time and get in the car. Unless you're gonna have the kids lined up outside, like a preschool, that's the same kind of thing. Are you gonna have a lane for them to do this? Because that studio at least has a parking lot that people pull into, which is still kind of, when you're driving down Cass, people are zipping in and out. So I'm really concerned about that aspect of it. And I know you're saying people don't stay, but my daughter took lessons at the Park District 3, 4, 5, 6. All the parents stayed, and we sat there for the hour, and we all visited. That was our hour as moms. We were out. I had 3 kids under 6. My hour to get out with other moms and chat. So we'd park, and we'd sit in the Park District for that hour and chit-chat, which was great. But I think I don't know how your studio runs, but there might be people that are parking and taking up spots. And I just think that first block of Cass, it's a really tough spot. They're already in Westmont. I'm sure there's a lot of other great locations, like right down the street, that big glass building that could have a nice studio. I have nothing against the dance studio. I just love that location for what it was before. I would hate to see it now be backed up down Cass Avenue every day. That's all.
Thank you. Anyone else? And state your name and address. And
Yes, my name is Bob Slaker. I live at 813 Revere Court in Westmont. And similar to what I've just heard, I'm excited about getting more new business, obviously, in the downtown area. I had 4 concerns. I think I sent a note out on that. The first concern was around the fact that it's a retail district, and we really need to be driving more retail activity in there. Nothing against dance studios whatsoever. My kids, spent years in dance, so I have a lot of experience with that. So that was the first concern. Second concern, similar, was around the parking issue. When you come down to the restaurants in that area sometimes in the evening, all those spaces are filled up, the lot's filled up, and my concern is that you'll have people who come driving down Cass and will say, oh, well, it's all filled up, I'll just drive on by and leave these restaurants there. Third concern I have is around the pickup and drop off and the traffic there. I work in Chicago, so I'm down here twice a day, every day, and I see the huge traffic issue we have right there at Cass near Burlington, and you'd have people right in the middle of that whole thing. And then my biggest concern in the whole thing is really about the safety with the kids there. That pickup and drop off, even though you can run it like clockwork, it's when my kids were in the dance studios over on Chicago Avenue, we had a parking lot there that we were going in. It was total chaos in there at that time, picking up and dropping off. You've got distracted parents, you've got kids with their bags and all that kind of stuff. So that just seems to me with the traffic situation you already have there with kids being picked up and dropped off, there's a safety issue. So it's almost like you think about it, Manning School, a block over, they got to block off the whole street when you're picking up and dropping off kids because of all that goes with that. So just those are the things I think we need to think about.
thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? You have to come up to the microphone.
My break from the taste.
Yeah, I know.
Just enjoy this for a second. Again, I don't really have concerns. I have like more pros and cons being the neighbor. We've met. I think you're wonderful. I'm also a business owner, so I juggle a lot of hats. This is actually the first time I've heard your drop-off plan. I don't know what to expect with having a lot of cars. It's condensed as it is down there. My concern is our alley, actually. I don't want people kind of cutting through our parking lot and then heading down the alleys, and now you're gonna have a lot of traffic, and there's always probably too many cars back there now as it is. So again, until I were to see this in a motion, I don't really know if I'm in favor or not, if that makes sense. The sound, yes, I don't think we would hear a lot of it, but we also share a lot of ducts and everything else going on in that building. So again, I don't really know how, is it the same stuff you have now in your studio, what you're doing? The same kind of process? For your sound?
Well, it would be much different this way because we're doing isolated studios.
Okay.
So it's not, right now I share walls with the bank, with the coffee shop that's next to us now, so it's a different kind of
Okay.
setup, yeah.
You know, until something would happen, I don't really know what to expect, but mainly the parking is probably my biggest concern. And then I like the cross-promotion of businesses. We're very much a part of that, and we promote that. Do I think parents would stay and hang out and have some good times with us? Probably. Do I think they just want to go do other errands? Probably as well. So I can't put all my eggs in one basket that, you know, we're going to have a full house all the time. And I have to keep in mind our customers that come routinely, and we have our own little following that I don't want to interrupt as well. I feel bad enough having private parties all the time where I have to put that sign up there. So, but that's kind of how.
And what business is that?
Sweet and savory spot.
All right, I just thought at some
It's
point you had
So many
this.
times that
All right.
I forget. Our new
Yeah.
shirts threw me
All
off,
right.
so. Well, that's all I have to say.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's his favorite place to go.
Anybody else? I knew we had to get an orange.
My
shirt.
favorite musician?
There we go. Again, we'll ask you for your name and address.
I'm John Costel. I live at 51 West End Avenue in Westmont, and I own Uncle John's Music at 33 North Cass Avenue. I have children that attend the dance studio now, and I know that they run it like clockwork, so I'm not really too concerned about the drop-off thing. I think she'll have it worked out very, like I said, very much like clockwork, because everything they do over there is very, very well run and efficient. So, and I think that having the dance studio there would be good for other businesses like myself.
Uncle John's Music.
Yeah, Uncle John's Music. I think having other families that are into the arts, you know, would possibly help. Well, I'm pretty sure it will. Just having, you know, more exposure to families and coming down there. So, because obviously we do music lessons and sell musical equipment. So just having more people downtown, I think, would help. And I think it sounds good that she's doing more retail. I mean, having more retail like Divine, I did like Divine, but how long has it been empty? So I'd rather have something there that is active and vibrant, so.
Good. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, sir.
Anybody else from the public? At this point, is there anything you'd like to comment on what anybody said at this point? You can come back up to the.
In regards to the parking, that I know is a concern for many, and I'm sure many people have been to different dance studios or have encountered different experiences. Like I said, since day one, this has been an issue for us, so we really have a system that works, we are very aware of the kids, of the crossing. We do have a parking lot that they could turn into as well. I know there is concern for the alley, but rather than congestion on Cass Avenue, if they turn right into our parking lot, they do the drop-off, and then right out they go, it seems like that would be a pretty convenient and easy way. As well as in regards to the building being retail, we will certainly be focusing on retail, and as John mentioned before, that building has been vacant for over 5 years, and I know they're working on selling it, and there's lots of ideas coming forth, but it's been vacant. There hasn't been anything there. And I'm offering my studio to attend this space where you would be bringing people to the heart of Westmont, which ultimately I would think is the goal of all of the local businesses and the restaurants, that isn't it something that we want to make Westmont more vibrant and more filled with people as well? And safety for my children is absolutely number one. That's my number one priority. And within the regards of the sound and the sound ducts and stuff, certainly with all of our engineering and when we start doing the build out, we would work out anything we can. If there's shared ducts, they could go into the basement or however that would work. If that's an issue, we would be willing to work with anyone. We're not here to say we're going to blast our music and good luck. You know, we want this to work for everyone as well as all of the local businesses as well. We want to help contribute to Westmont. We've been a part of Westmont for 5 years. I've been a chamber member for 5 years. My father was just elected on the Westmont Special Events Corporation as a board member. We love being a part of this community, and we would love to continue to be a part of this community. We teach at the middle schools and the local schools and donate our time and donate our services, and we love being a part of this community. And because this community has been so good to us, we've been able to grow in this community, and we would like to be able to continue to do that. And I would love to do that in Westmont. I would never want to go somewhere else to be able to grow my business. I would love to stay here, having been in business 5 years in Westmont. So all of the issues that are concerns, we will bend over backwards to make sure that they are covered and that they are fixed and that it wouldn't be an issue. Thank you.
Thank you. We do have 3 separate ordinances. Do we like to open it up and have any trustees ask it before we start any of the motions? Anybody have any questions?
I'll point out, Mayor, if I may, although I'm not a trustee.
I know that.
Is that?
All of the businesses in the B1, B2, C1 district, well, every business district does have to comply with the performance standards, and that includes noise standards. So while they're taking steps to soundproof, if there were a problem and we can measure decibels from the property line, there could be violation notices sent, and they would have to comply with the noise standards.
At this point, do you want us to make our comments, or just if we have questions?
I thought maybe just finish up with the comments. I think we kind of did that, and then we'll ask for a motion we'll go down the line then.
So you want us to make our comments now?
Yes.
You don't want a motion for discussion?
I have a couple of thoughts on this. And I'm looking at it much the same way with pros and cons. And when you hear a business went from 50 clients to 400, that's like, wow, that's like over the moon, over the top, and these are people that are coming to Westmont. When you hear 400, you think, oh my God, cars, people, kids running 7 days a week. And I know they wouldn't be there every single day, wouldn't be the same number, but that's like 58 people a day average. Some days more, some days probably less. Anything that goes in that space is going to require parking. We want it to be successful. We want these businesses to require parking. People are going to get dropped off. People are going to come and go. The noise would be my biggest concern, and I think we'd have to take a real hard line on that because we have a very wonderful business right next door that we don't want to hurt. And I would be the same way with Sweet and Savory. If fine dining went in next door, I'd say you need some soundproofing for when you have bands. So I mean, I think we can all work together and make something like this work. Yes, we have another dance studio in the B1. Yes, they also do some retail, but it's not our job to limit competition or to monitor that. So I actually support this. I think we can make it work. I think, we'll have to work together. We can't have accidents on Cass Avenue. We don't want children getting hurt. We want Sweet and Savory to be wildly successful as they are. We want you to be wildly successful as you are. Your success is our success, and I think it's our job to work with you to make it happen, to make it work. That's just my 2 cents.
Other comments, questions?
Well, I think she's gone from 50 to 400 in the location she's at. She'll be at 400, and where will she end up being 5 years from now?
She may have to move
Hopefully
again.
you've got 1,000, 2,000.
She may have to move again.
But at that point there, is there a better location for this business in town? We have a TIF district going on. Eventually, there'll be construction going on. You can always see what Cass Avenue is like at rush hour. The drop-off, it's a different situation from where you're at now, because that's not really impacted as much as Cass Avenue. It sits. How many trains through this town a day? Almost 200. And you know what it's like there at the rush hour time. And it's about sales tax. It really is. I know it's been empty for 5 years. It's been empty for 5 years for reasons, too. So I would sit there and say, I would be in favor of everything we can do to keep you in town and find a location. There's locations on Cass Avenue, or on Ogden Avenue, the old Pet Supply Plus. They're willing to divide it. They're willing to make it smaller. You're on Ogden, more traffic, actually easier probably in and out of there.
Higher lease, higher expenses.
I don't know
Very
that.
difficult for a small
Okay,
business
I understand it. I
to
understand
move
it.
into
I'm
an
on
Ogden
Ogden, believe me, I know.
space. Yeah, and I just, if it's okay, stressing the 400 students. At the most, the pickup, especially at this new facility, would be 12 students. Each classroom will be limited to 12 kids per class. So if the classes are being released at separate times and starting at separate times, you're talking 12 students that all do carpool. That's maybe 3 to 4 cars. And that's just from the experience that we have now, where we set limits on the classrooms, where it wouldn't be 45 cars coming to pick up 400 kids all at one time. It's all very limited of what the amount is that's being dropped off and picked up, and at separate times. So it would never happen all at the same time where there is 40 kids trying to be dropped off
I
and picked up.
understand that, but the reason you're moving is because you grew.
Right.
And if you continue to grow, will it be more than 12 kids being picked up at any one time?
It will not, no. Because we're going from a 1-room and a 600-foot room to 3 separate rooms. So we're able to grow within this space, within 3 rooms at the same time, which is something we've never had before. And we're able to grow within this space without affecting the time frame of it. So still alternating the classes and the times of the classes. The classrooms will be able to grow. We're going from 75 classes a week to hopefully 110 classes per week that all drop off at different times, that all pick up at different times, with still being able to grow without it affecting.
So the 3 classrooms won't be used at the same time?
They will, but they will be starting at a different time
Okay.
and ending at a different time. If that, does that make?
All right.
Yeah.
It's staggered.
Staggered, yes.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead.
I've never been at a board meeting where we're letting this.
No, I know, I was going to
No.
say, you know what, unless a trustee has a specific question, so what we normally do.
Sorry.
No, we normally do is the trustees comment, and unless they want you to come up and
Okay.
and answer a question, and we allow that. So at this point, I'm just going to continue to let trustees have questions or comments.
I have a couple of questions.
Now, see, Bruce has a question.
As long as you're up here.
I'm very passionate about this, sorry.
Yeah, you know, I'm interested in your Wednesday night, how late in the evening do you go?
Our classes go till 9 o'clock.
Till 9 o'clock at night, okay. So we have a street fair on Wednesday evenings, Thursday night.
I thought it was on Thursday, the street fair.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Thursday. So Thursday evening, and then Friday evening, you're also till 9?
Or around 7:30.
Okay, now what about Saturdays?
Saturdays, we're there all day.
You're there all day?
9 to 5 or something.
Yeah, 9 a.m. till about 5 or 6, yes.
Till about 5 or 6 p.m. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
I just want to confirm one quick thing. You mentioned that you're going to require all your students to purchase attire in order to take the classes?
Yeah, so it's like a dress code system.
Is this something you do now or no?
It is something that we've started implementing with like our ballet class. So then it would continue with the jazz classes and the tap classes.
So every class you offer, you're going to require them to
Yes,
purchase
and it
an
would all
outfit?
have to be in-house purchase.
What's the average cost of an outfit?
Average cost can start anywhere from $12 to $48 when you add the tights and
And you would
shoes.
need a new one for each class you take?
You would, as well as when the children go out of their shoes, which they do about every 3 months. They have to
Okay.
do that as well, so. it would
And
be
then the
all purchased.
performances, don't they get costumes for all of the different
Correct.
performances?
All of their, the different performances that they make, the costumes, the shoes, the tights, yeah.
They buy all that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other comments? Trustee Barry?
Yes, I have several concerns, from the sound, the sharing of the ducks to, I'm a neighbor of the other dance studio. And since they've moved in, the alley safety has gone from dangerous to extremely dangerous. We have, the police force has had speed monitors, we've added speed bumps, nothing is working. The pattern that I notice is that we have either parents dropping off and going, not visiting other stores, or they come for recitals and take up all of the traffic, of all the parking spots. They actually wait like a concert. They wait outside for these recitals. Secondly, as you said, all ages. My main concern, and continues to be my concern for my safety at my residence, is the teenage age girls that are texting down my alley at high rates of speed every day. 4 o'clock, you come stand in my alley, I tell everyone, get out of the way, because it becomes a very dangerous situation. I've had the police involved. Again, we've had the village put speed bumps there. Nothing has worked. It's getting more and more dangerous all the time. That particular businesswoman gives notices to her people and tells them. It really goes on deaf ears. So, again, I'm very concerned. You know, I think NBC takes up a lot of parking on Saturdays. That, again, could be potential retail, as residents are saying, potential for restaurants. So, you know, again, with the 400 students growing, more people, I know at the planning and zoning, they commented on how efficient your system is here. Again, to one of those trustees sitting over there, it's much different on a one-way street and Lincoln here with an alley versus Cass Avenue, which is already a mess. And then, again, when we talk these Thursday nights, you know, to have your people come through the parking lot and then into the alley, well, that's exactly my concern. And we have residents behind there. And then just in general, that it doesn't necessarily fit for the long-term plan of what we have there. And unfortunately, that's my stance on it, because I have such a bad experience with the dance studio where I'm at, and a life safety concern.
I think we have something we have to address at that end that we haven't then, if it's
Well,
that
we
bad.
have, and it just seems like there's only so much we can do other than literally standing out there every day, you know, but now we're talking the heart of our downtown, not necessarily my end, which is somewhat service orientated. So again, I have concerns with the sharing of the ductwork on the effect on sweet and savory, sorry. And then also the amount of people, the drop off, the stopping on Cass Avenue with kids getting out. Again, if that's in the alley, you know, alleys are not thoroughfares. So if there's a delivery at one end of the alley, they have that right to block that alley for as long as that delivery would take. So if these people are trying to get through there, and Amber has a delivery and the funeral home has a delivery, where are they going to go? How are they going to turn around? What are they going to do? I just don't think it's a great fit for that volume of people. I love having you in Westmont. You know I support you. Again, a great business. Love your attitude towards the downtown events. I just don't like the location.
One additional thing I want to add is about the parking, and a lot of, you know, we're talking 400 people coming into the downtown area, and, you know, it's been kind of a thing people have been beating you up on, and personally, I think it's a great opportunity. I think it's the village's goal to get more people to come in to the downtown. This is bringing, regardless of what you put in there, if it's a nice restaurant, if you put in a dance studio, or if you put in a chiropractic office, it's bringing more people to the downtown area. And parking's always going to be an issue. It's always going to be a problem with coordinating delivery trucks. It's no matter what goes in there. So I wanted to bring that up. It just, you know, I'm on the fence with it, and the reason is, you know, is it the best fit for it? And that's why I asked you about the retail. You know, and the parking thing, I'm really looking beyond that, just because that's going to always be there. And I think that's something that the village really has to work with to help them with, because it's, you know, they're bringing the people in. Let's help with doing whatever we can with infrastructure improvements to make it as easy as possible for them. So I tend to think it's going to bring more people downtown. It's going to bring more people to their next door neighbors, the sweet and savory. It's going to bring more people to the restaurants that we like. Just like if you put another restaurant downtown. You know, is it going to hurt one business? No, it's going to bring more people to the downtown to try out a different restaurant at some point.
But you wouldn't be dropping off children, though. That's the difference.
One
You know, the
question I
parking's one
do
thing.
have is I want to just confirm the safeguards with sound that you were talking about, John. In the event of the ductwork is a big effect where sweet and savory gets, you know, one day finds out, oh my God, I can hear all the drums, the bass, whatever through the ductwork. How would we address that?
It is, if the noise violates the performance standards, which we've got certain performance standards in the ordinances, the village would send out a notice, a violation notice, and give them time to work with the village to cure the problem. And if they don't, then it would go to the next enforcement step, which could be a complaint and daily fines.
Okay. Does the village have a decimal reader?
Yes.
They do?
At least they did at one point, because we've had that issue in the past.
Code enforcement.
So sound issues could be addressed if something were to come up. That's all I
Any
have.
other trustee comments?
I might as well say it. I have a problem with the safety of the kids being picked up and dropped off, the lack of parking, and the fact that it's not more retail. And again, I'm on the fence.
Seeing none, no other questions, I'll entertain, we need three different motions.
Motion, oh, we need three different? Okay.
Well, the first one is for the special use permit.
Motion to approve, Barry.
Second, Seneca?
Motion been made and seconded to approve the special use permit. Any additional questions? Trustee Addington?
Yeah, I had to wait for the motion because I'm going to make a suggestion.
I knew that.
This is a business that's already here. And I think we need to do everything we can to work with Amber with this business. I'm hearing what I think is going to be a mixed vote. I'm wondering if it wouldn't make more sense for everyone to think about this and bring this back on the 24th. I don't want to have her lose this, but I have concerns. I want to support her and work with her because she's a business right here in town. I mean, we have to. But on the other side of the coin, I know what Harold is saying about the alley down by him. I know it's at sometimes the zoo. The alleyway is, these people would be right next to the Knights, and there are times when that alley becomes a little bit of a zoo, as my brother Vath will testify to. So I'm just trying to think if there's something, and I don't want to see this going the wrong direction, if there's a way of working it out. So that's why I waited till now, is I'd like to make a motion, if Amber would be agreeable, I'd like to table it for 2 weeks and see between the police department and everybody if we can't work something out. Because quite honestly, folks, I keep hearing all the time, people talk about parking. You can always find a place to park downtown.
You absolutely can. You might have to walk,
I just don't see that
but you
as
can
a
find
serious
it.
problem, but there might be a way of working things out without hurting my good friends at Sweet and Savory with parking for their patrons, to do something with a drop-off, pick-off spot or something. I mean, that's why I'd like to see if something couldn't be worked out in the next 2 weeks and bring it back and see if something could be worked out that would appease some of the concerns that a couple of the trustees have.
And along those lines, that might be a really good idea to just kind of delay it a couple of weeks and think about it and digest it and come up with other plans. Something just popped into my head. You know, the restaurants all have, a space for catering. The news agency has a space to run in and get whatever you need. We could designate a spot somewhere for drop-off.
That's what I'm thinking.
One spot is not going to be a deal breaker when there's so much parking.
But for 30 kids, how are they going to use one spot? If you got 30 kids in the class
If
that's
it's
starting at 3
available,
o'clock.
maybe, and then if it's not, we say, you drop off at the corner, in the parking lot. There's ways to address this. I think Trustee Addington's right, and we need to work with her and find a
And she's a business here in town
way.
right now. I want to try to support her and see if there's a better mousetrap that we can think of.
And then maybe in 2 weeks, we could come up with some alternative locations as possibilities.
Sure,
I mean, how wonderful that we have a business that's grown so much and
Yeah.
wants to stay in Westmont. When Clarendon Hills is knocking on people's doors, LaGrange, I mean, let's not blow an
And again,
opportunity
planning
here.
and zoning unanimously recommended it, so, I think we have to listen to
Can
that
I,
recommend, so.
I heard a motion to
I made a
table. Did I
motion
have a
to table.
second?
You don't table it, you postpone it.
Postpone it.
Excuse me, a motion to postpone.
Thank you.
Second, Scott.
I had a motion and second, and what I'd like to do on the question is ask the applicant if that's acceptable to you.
Yes, that will help my cause.
It would help us to better get a handle on it, maybe work something out with you. I know Sweet and Savory, you're waving your hand.
Look at her.
That's all right. Come up to the
A
podium.
good one, by the way.
Come up to the podium.
I missed out on that special catering spot for restaurants.
Oh, you could ask for, I mean, we've given it to every restaurant
I
for
guess-
valet and for pickups.
I guess it just,
Yeah.
it gives us, you know, I don't want to sound like we're not supporting another business. I mean, I feel like you've been beaten up today, so I'll buy you a drink later. If there's some way that even, any suggestions you have that if you, when you're going over some things, what we can do, or with the parking, I mean, if there's any way to designate spots or something like that to ensure that our customers have spots, things like that. The sound, I feel, is going to be just one of those, you know, aside from having somebody come in and look at our building and kind of give us like a technical viewpoint on it, I don't really know what to.
Kind of an unknown, because there's
It's
never really
like
been
it's a
anybody over
fear.
there.
Like, I
while
have
you've
no
been there.
clue. We've kind of been an only child for a while, so we've got that edge to us, so I apologize. But if there's something that, if you have any suggestions of someone that could take a look at the building, or, you know, our building is a lot of things right now, so I don't really know what to, if there's another person moving in the basement, you know, how is that gonna affect them? You know, you can hear us walking in the basement, let alone something else, so any suggestions that you would have when you're going over things that we can either help with, or if you have for us, we're more than open and willing to do what we can.
All right, thank you.
One possibility, again, for the alley is, you know, if prior to her opening, if the village wants to make it one way and put multiple speed bumps through there, you know, if that's gonna be what they're gonna do for this one business to make it work, you know, there's possibilities out there where we could work with her, but, you know, it's gonna take a team effort. I can't see, again, as Bruce has stressed, that we gotta figure out a way not to have those kids dropped off on Cass Avenue. I mean, that's really the sticking point, is somehow, some way, we can't, you know, our crosswalks aren't really recognized today with adults. So, you know, we need to find a way to have it safe for the kids. The life safety ultimately becomes the most important part of it.
Yeah.
But no
John,
matter
can we dictate
what we
that?
do in the alley is going to make it safer for any business there.
Absolutely.
I want to hurry up and
drop off
vote
the
on this before John comes up and
Special
asks for a
use
spot in front of
Yeah, John.
Uncle John's music. So that's-
I just have to say, our downtown businesses, every one of them, I love the effort that's always put forth to work together, and it's great, you know, that here we've got Sweet and Savory, and it's just.
We'll probably stop by in a little while.
Uncle John's, it's just really great to see the downtown businesses working together, because they share everyone's success at the end of the day.
And just so, we want you to be successful, and we don't want to hurt anybody else. Love your business, just don't know if it's a right spot.
But I do think if we look into it, and there's ways to work around some of the concerns as far as drop-off. And especially if you're staggering the times and stuff. So right now, the motion is to postpone.
Get it right, I don't want you to get hollered at.
And it
He
was
wasn't
seconded.
going to, he knows.
And the applicant is agreeable?
So that won't hurt your
Can I
lease
have-
or anything.
Well, I'm not sure, but I mean, I have to go back to them and try to work something out.
Okay.
I certainly will. I don't know. It would definitely affect build out and things like that for us trying to open in the fall, but whatever you guys recommend, we will definitely.
Okay.
It's just like
Thank
2
you.
weeks.
Can I have a roll call then on the postponement?
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Okay, so 2 weeks from tonight, it'll be back on the agenda. So thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank everybody for coming. Okay, we'll move on. New business C, 6501 South Cass Avenue, the Westmont Nursing Home. Board to consider ordinances approving the following requests from the Westmont Nursing and Rehabilitation Center at 6501 South Cass Avenue and 635 East 65th Street in the B2 General Business District. 1, revised site and landscaping plan, and 2, a detention waiver. Manager Searle.
Applicant is requesting to revise the approved 2013 site plan. The previously approved wing of new residential rooms has been removed from the plans. Only administrative and parking spaces are now proposed. Additional parking has been removed from the plan. The existing parking spaces exceed what the code requires. The applicant has added stormwater detention, but is requesting a waiver from the full amount that is required. The nursing home will consider completing the remaining expansion in several years. I believe we have a petitioner here.
We have the petitioner, and I don't know if staff would like to comment first. We've met several times. I don't know if Joe wants to give a quick little summary of what we've done.
Sure. We've met with the applicant several times just to discuss the changes. We wanted to bring this back to the board because we didn't want them to build without you understanding why they'd changed the plans. In addition, the stormwater detention costs were more than what the applicant was expecting. And so they talked to us about trying to figure out how to work with us to not provide the full detention, but not do nothing either. So we tried to come to a compromise to figure out what the best solution was. Steve May might have some comments on the detention, and then the applicant will have further details.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
And the applicant comes up, state your name and...
Good evening. My name is Stephen Sussholtz. I'm with SAS Architects and Planners, and with me today is one of the owners, Daniel Weiss, as well as our civil engineers from Spaceco. Back, pardon my voice, back in early last year, we were before you and received approval for an expansion addition to the existing nursing home, and that was about 43,000 square feet. Well, when we got through with everything, we realized we couldn't afford it. So we came back, we have a modified plan in which we deleted the patient rooms, the additional rooms, that would be put off potentially for a later date. We're not increasing the number of residents in the building then, and we're not increasing them now. We're just trying to provide and construct a project that is affordable. And I don't know if you've got, does this thing show up here? This is what was originally approved. It was 43,000 square feet with a partial basement and a partial second floor. The prime portion of the building was basically a new nursing home wing. The parking on the west side was being reconfigured, and we were adding some additional parking on the east side with stormwater detention under both of these parking structures. Now, the stormwater detention, which we'll talk about later, when we do this, we were originally required to provide the detention as if this were a vacant site and we were rebuilding the whole thing with all the impervious areas, but in reality, we aren't adding that much impervious area over what was presently there. So after reworking the project, we came up with an alternate site plan that the clients can now afford, and we are in, I think, for a building permit review soon, was that we would still have the second floor in here. The ground floor would be administrative areas, a dining room for the residents in this wing on the first floor. It would also have an extensive physical therapy for the inpatient patients, as well as an indoor therapy pool for the residents as well. The parking lot basically stays the same. The only thing we did was, at this point, we had a third little element, entry element, and we've deleted that for cost, and we deleted the back parking lot, but in the process, we more than doubled the size of the existing detention pond that's back there. We're also proposing to put park detention under the west parking lot, but in a different fashion, and instead of getting to 100%, I believe we're 80%. So we're providing the detention for 80% of the requirements as opposed to 100%, which is far greater than we had before. For instance, this west parking lot has less impervious area than the previous parking lot. So we've reduced the amount of impervious area to start with, and we've provided storage capacity that isn't existing at this time. We're also changing the flow of the stormwater detention. Presently, believe it or not, it goes from this parking lot to a detention pond here, to a detention pond here, and then it goes back out to Cass Avenue. So now, this will go to Cass Avenue, but this pond will go east and then north, intersecting a sewer system out there. So we're just asking for approval to build a little more economic project and to provide a little less stormwater detention than would be required if we had built a brand-new building. We have a civil engineer who can answer specific questions about volumes if you want to. We have the owner to answer any questions about the project. It's ready to be constructed. We're finalizing financing. We need the building permit, and then construction will start.
Questions?
Any questions? We're all here, anybody to answer?
Are you going to be removing any of the parking that's there now and putting in parking new? Are you going to be repaving or redoing any of the existing parking?
We're going to be redoing the west parking lot completely, eliminating one existing driveway that's about where my finger is right now. That's going away. We're not going to have another access onto Cass Avenue. So
Okay,
this is all,
so that, where that curve is, that's going out?
right here where my finger is, there's a curb right now. That's being deleted.
That'll be deleted, okay, because I have visited your facility. I've had a friend that was there. And the reason I asked the question about the parking, one of the things that you can do to help with the, this is trustee Steve Nero's education to us, is with the work we've been doing with stormwater, would you and the owners consider, when you reduce some of that parking area, to put in, what do we call, pervious paving?
Permeable pavers, sure.
Yeah.
Right, well,
Which will,
we looked at that, but the problem is the soil that's underneath that parking lot is not suitable to work with impervious pavers, because the soil, we don't have sandy soil, we can't take the water away. It's going to go down and pond underneath the pavers. So that works if you've got the appropriate subsoil that you need for existence, but it's
So
not there.
you've looked at it, okay.
Right, so we're going to put a structure under there. Before, we had a very elaborate concrete structure. The stormwater detention was costing almost $1 million before we started, and that was a lot to take in. So we devised this other system, expansion, as well as, the stormwater detention that we're putting in on Cass Avenue is greater than the volume needed for the impervious area that's there.
Okay.
So we're increasing that, doing more than what's there now. We just want to do it a different way and save a little money for the building.
On the original plan, did you, or did you not, didn't you have like a rain garden in the back part? Was that part of the original plan, or am I confusing the other?
No.
Okay, all right, very good. It's a different nursing home, sorry, but, so, again, no intentions of any type of rain garden here or anything along the lines? Okay.
I think, I just wanted to add, they've really worked very hard to maximize the amount of detention volume that they can fit on the site. If you only look at the volume for the difference in their change, they are more than doubling that amount of storage with their design. And it's our ordinance that requires kicking in detention for the entire site, and that would have been a tripled that number. So they're essentially going halfway between the minimum and the maximum, and they've exhausted. They looked into the permeable pavers. They worked very hard with Kim, and we're very satisfied with what they've come up with.
So they're doubling the capacity of what they have now?
They're doubling.
A little more, I think.
They're doubling the volume from what the difference for this proposed new impervious, that is being doubled. And that's about halfway.
It's actually almost
It's almost triple.
It's almost tripling it. Right now, I think it's like
0.3.
0.3.
Yeah.
The existing little pond back here. And we're doubling that all by itself, as well as the storage we're putting under the west parking lot. So I think we're getting to, getting like 0.8 something.
They're getting to
versus
0.8, and if we were to take into account our literal interpretation of the ordinance, providing modern detention requirements for the entire site as if it was the entire thing was being built new, that number is triple what the difference is. So you've gone far into reaching that goal, but not meeting it, and that's the point of the waiver.
And again,
But it's an improvement
It's
by
an
allowing it
improvement.
to proceed.
That's the bottom line, yeah.
and
staff
I've had
supports this.
opportunities to meet several times with them when they've come in, and I think they've been very cooperative with staff, and we were
sounds like-
pleased with the result.
There's a lot of talk about retention ponds and all of that lately with other developers and everything. What we don't have really is a way, because I heard some video yesterday that, these retention ponds over time naturally fill in, and you lose the volume, but we don't have any way of going back and checking that or verifying that it's still good years from now.
Could you check elevations?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a big topic, but when something starts silting in, there's kind of visual evidence of it because stuff gets flatter, and then if it's a turf basin, then the grass isn't growing, and you can see that something's happened. You always have the ability to go in and look at the outlet structure and the restrictor and make sure that's staying clean, but, I mean, you're right, we don't do as-built drawings, and moreover, these underground vaults now, I mean, there is no system in place to go down and inspect those, into the future. So that's why we don't.
There is a manhole if somebody wanted to crawl down there.
Thanks a bunch.
Maybe the civil,
Steve, you're the stormwater guy.
maybe the civil,
Get some pads on your knees and crawl down that manhole. Somebody can lower you.
Better be a big
Hold your
manhole.
feet and send you through.
does a civil engineer have any thoughts on that? Because it's going to be.
Well, remember, it's the detention structures on the west aren't going to get silted in because they're concrete pipes, 4-foot diameter concrete pipes, and you've got the back detention pond that has to be maintained. So like,
But I mean, that underground system, no one goes under there and checks.
no.
None of it, there's no method to do that because this is an ongoing problem. It's going to be, coming up for years. And we've heard more and more about stormwater in the last 2
It would be
years.
a lot of silt to fill up a 4-foot diameter pipe.
Well, no,
It's 200 feet long.
so, but there's no check on any of this
No,
stuff.
no, unless the city wants to go and look.
The real bottom line to this is that they've worked very closely with our staff, they've listened to our recommendations, and they're really bringing this thing up.
Absolutely.
Retaining a lot more water on this property than is there now, so it's gonna help whatever situation we have at that part of town. So
Maximized.
I think, for now, I think we call the question and.
Well, we got one more, I
them-
think the.
Oh, one more, okay.
The engineer, would you like to, or just, you walked up there and,
What I was going to say was the new ordinances in DuPage County, we now have to provide filters before the water gets into the system, and then we filter it again when it goes out of the system. So all the soot from the parking lots, all the gravel, all those things already get trapped. There's a pre-treatment system that takes place that has to get cleaned out every so often. So we're getting clean water into this thing, and then we filter it again to go out. That's the new ordinance, that's the new DuPage County ordinance within the last couple of years. So we're very aware of that. We've worked with Kim with that. So to answer your question, those things are going to be pretty clean.
Thank you.
They'll be clean, and I just wanted, Bruce brought up a good point, I thought, Mayor, is that maybe that's something we could look at in Code Enforcement Committee, is adding this as a new thing to do, is to go around and make sure these detention ponds are doing what they should be doing.
So I gotta go in the manhole and not.
Well, they could share.
Get one of those minor.
Something
hats
that
with a
needs to be
light.
done, though, that's for sure.
I know that the detention that the village owns, or the village maintains the right for the water-related issues, and the park owns it. There's a couple in Deer Creek that have the concrete swales in there. The village has, we've come in and corrected it because it was no longer fulfilling the requirements it was meant to. So it's filling in, so I know that the ones we own, we take care of.
Right.
So that's a good question. What about the ones we do not own? Do we have
Yeah.
any?
Do we look in?
Yes.
Check 'em.
I don't want to switch subjects, but this maintenance of private detention basins or inspections of it is one of the topics that we talked about with respect to the utility and being able to get into that business of
Having someone that
being staffed to be
help
able to do
manage
stuff
it.
like that.
Yes.
Good.
Well, do I have we're looking for two motions. One is the revised site and landscaping plan.
Motion to approve one, Seneca.
Barry.
Motion been made and second to approve the site and landscaping plan on the question. Anybody in the audience?
They all left.
Oh, I think everybody in the audience is with
Not a
the
studio.
owner of the building.
We're down at the car show.
Don't you guys want to object to it?
Down at the car show.
As the owner. My name is Daniel Weiss. I've been the owner of the facility for a long time. My mother-in-law owned it prior to me, and I just want to thank the mayor and the staff for facilitating us to be able to get this done. I really appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have a motion. Do I have no other questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Looking for then a motion for detention waiver.
Motion to approve Addington.
Second, Scott.
Motion made second. Again, any question? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
All right, we got it to approve, you guys. And when
Thanks,
do you
guys.
plan on? Yeah, I know. All right. Thank you. All right, thank you.
Thanks, good luck.
New business D, award of bid proposal for water main construction. Board to consider an ordinance awarding the bid and authorizing construction contract with Patrick Construction Incorporated of Franklin Park for the William Street and Cumner Road water main replacement projects. Manager Searle.
North Williams construction project to replace an old 4-inch main with an 8-inch main. On June 26th, the village received bid proposals from 4 contractors. The low bidder was Patnick Construction, and bid amount of $386,995, which was 25% below the engineer's estimate, which was $515,000. North Cumner construction project consists of replacement of an old 6-inch water main with a new 8-inch PVC pipe. Patnick again was low bidder with the amount of $216,065, which is approximately 30%, excuse me, 30% below the engineer's estimate of $316,000. Staff recommends contract award of bid alternates A and C to Patnick Construction. And just one question for Steve, I guess. When we said the 4-inch with an 8, that's PVC as well, right?
The new construction will be PVC.
It's all
The old
PVC.
is probably cast iron.
Yep. Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Alternate A is the North Williams portion, and alternate C is the North Cumner, so that's why it was separated. It was kind of an unusual setup, but it gave us the ability to have one bid opening and award different parts as we chose.
Do I have a motion to approve?
You want to do them both at the same time, A and C?
Just, we got one here.
Yeah, there's only
Really
one
is only
motion
one.
needed.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the recommendation for bid A for the $216,000 and bid C for the $387,000.
Do I hear a second?
Second, Scott.
Second, Scott. On the question.
Steve, have we had these guys work for us before?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Moving on, new business E, engineering material testing and inspection services agreement. Board to consider an ordinance approving an engineering agreement with Thomas Engineering for material testing and inspection services for the water plant parking lot improvement project. Manager Searle.
Okay, this is a request to approve an $11,095.40 agreement for material testing and inspection services for the water plant parking lot improvement project. Services by a certified agency is needed for the structural inspection, concrete testing, and other related work. So we're recommending approval of this particular agreement.
Do I have a motion?
Motion Addington to approve.
Second, Barry.
Motion been made and seconded. On the question. Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Moving on to miscellaneous. Any of the trustees?
I do have something. Larry McIntyre's fault. Tomorrow is electronics recycling.
Good.
I was supposed to remind everybody that it's out front here in the Village Hall. Also, the Environmental Improvement Commission is going to be doing surveys at the Taste to see what concerns residents have. So
Oh,
those are
very
the two
nice.
things Larry wanted me to report.
Very nice.
Now I'm done.
Are they just walking around, passing them out, or what are
I'm
they?
not sure if they're going to be at the Village booth, or.
Surveys?
Or, yeah,
If they do them the way they have done in the past, when people drive up, they'll usually have a survey taker and record it. They may also do beyond that at the Taste, I don't know, but that's typically how they've done it at collections in the past.
What time tomorrow morning?
They open at 7, right?
7, I
to
think.
1.
and also, I think we have a coffee with the mayor that we should tell people, right?
10 o'clock is Sweet and Savory Spot on Saturday morning.
Okay.
And then from there, you can go right out to the Taste and enjoy the beautiful weather we're going to have. Any other miscellaneous?
No,
No, only Harold's allowed to do it.
Well, I do have, just a reminder,
change that to the
Yeah.
Harold Berry minute.
just a reminder, we mentioned it earlier, but July 23rd is a joint, we'll have a joint Village Board, Planning and Zoning Board meeting here at 7 o'clock. And then the next night on July 24th will be our regular next board meeting, starting at 5:30, but at 3 o'clock. There's a public safety meeting, and we encourage anybody to please attend. And that meeting will be in here also, and we're going to talk about some of the issues that we have on parking. And so I encourage anybody who would like to address the board or attend that committee meeting.
So at that public safety meeting, maybe that would be a good time to have discussion about possible solutions for expressions?
We
Being
have
the
a
day-
really long agenda right now. I don't
That's the
know
day
that-
before that board meeting, right?
Yeah.
I think we'll have.
I don't
some-
know
2 o'clock? You know what?
I mean,
that's
the
probably
agenda
not-
is-
Is it pretty long? We'll look at that.
That's why we're starting at 3, because it's this long.
It's 2.5 hours?
Yeah, it's long.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it just was
That's
a
good-
thought.
You know,
because
what's a good
Yeah.
point, because if we can get it in there, we can have it in the committee level before the next night. So, anybody else? If not, there will not be an executive session this evening, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move Seneca.
Second, Nero.
Motion been made and second to adjourn the meeting. Roll call, please.
Trustee Sinek.
Yes.
Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Addington.
You want to?
Yes.
I do.
All right. And again, I'd like to thank everybody for attending, and again, this meeting is adjourned at 7:23.
Yeah.